Javed Iqbal Mughal, born in Lahore, Pakistan, in 1956, is one of the most infamous serial killers in the country's history. His life and crimes have cast a long shadow over Pakistan's criminal history. Iqbal's story is not only one of horrific violence but also of a deeply troubled psyche that culminated in one of the most chilling confessions ever recorded. Iqbal was born into a well-off family and was reportedly a troubled child. He struggled with social relationships and maintained a withdrawn demeanor throughout his early years. His father owned an iron foundry, which allowed him to lead a relatively comfortable life. However, reports suggest that he harbored a deep resentment towards people and was plagued by a desire for control and dominance. Despite these challenges, he managed to pursue a degree in commerce from a local college. The turning point in Iqbal's life came in 1999, when he confessed to the murder of 100 young boys in Lahore. He would lure street children and runaways to his house with promises of food, shelter, and money. Once they were in his grasp, he would drug and assault them before strangling them to death. He then dismembered their bodies and disposed of them in acid, a method that left little evidence behind. Iqbal meticulously documented each of his murders in a diary, detailing the victims' names, ages, and other information, as if keeping a ledger of his gruesome acts. Iqbal's methodical approach and meticulous planning made him difficult to detect for a long time. He chose his victims from among the poor and homeless, children whose disappearances often went unnoticed. His ability to manipulate those around him allowed him to evade suspicion, making him a ghostly figure in Lahore's underworld. He eventually began to feel emboldened, leaving hints and making taunting statements about the police's inability to catch him. In December 1999, Iqbal sent a letter to the police and a local newspaper, confessing to his crimes and providing details of his methods. He claimed that his motivation was revenge against the police and society for his own mistreatment. The authorities, shocked by the nature of his confessions, raided his house, where they found acid containers and traces of human remains. A chilling note written by Iqbal was discovered, explaining his motives and acknowledging his guilt. Following a nationwide manhunt, Iqbal was eventually arrested on December 30, 1999, after turning himself in at the offices of the newspaper to which he had written. His confession was filled with pride, as he explained that his actions were meant to punish the police for their incompetence and highlight the plight of street children. He showed no remorse, claiming that he would have continued killing had he not been caught. In March 2000, after a swift trial, the judge sentenced Iqbal to death by hanging. The judge's verdict was symbolic, stating that Iqbal should be strangled in the same way he had killed his victims, and that his body should be dismembered and dissolved in acid, mirroring the method he used. This sentence, however, was never carried out. On October 8, 2001, Iqbal was found dead in his prison cell along with one of his accomplices. The official report declared it suicide, but many believed he was murdered by prison guards or fellow inmates. Given the nature of his crimes, Javed Iqbal's crimes left a profound impact on Pakistani society, raising questions about the vulnerability of street children and the effectiveness of law enforcement. His case exposed the failure of the social system in protecting those on the margins of society, particularly children without families. Moreover, it highlighted the complexities of dealing with serial killers in a legal and moral context, especially in a society where such cases are rare. Iqbal's story remains a dark chapter in Pakistan's criminal history. His life, marked by isolation and cruelty, eventually led to a horrifying spree that deeply scarred the nation. His case continues to be referenced in discussions about crime, justice, and the psychological roots of violence. Despite his death, the legacy of his actions serves as a grim reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of society.